Good morning. Welcome to At Your Service on KLAX TV. Brought to you by Heart of Louisiana Credit Union.
Good morning. I'm Bab Zimmerman at your service. My guest is no stranger to At Your Service. We're here to talk about the president's historic trip to Cuba. And Mike Tudor, a local businessman and attorney, made his own historic trip. What was your reaction overall?
Well, you know, Babs, we were there last year, this time of the year, and I saw firsthand how Cuba was opening to American business and American contact. And I think it's just the natural progression of the normalization between these two countries. Cuba has a huge symbolic and emotional tie to the United States that few countries do. You know, it's 11 million people, but it's bigger than that, if you know what I mean.
And Coolidge was the last president who went.
Yes, I believe he made the point. It arrived on a battleship, and
right.
I saw the video of Air Force One landing at the Havana International Airport. So I think people of goodwill support it. I think Louisiana, of course, might be the beneficiary of most of the trade rather than any other state. And I always felt like engagement was the way to approach Cuba. That's how we dealt with the Soviet bloc: trade, culture, students, music, and the winds of freedom and democracy blew through there. An isolationist embargo policy has been a failure, and I'm glad to see that we're changing that.
And that's what's next.
Right. Drop the embargo. We are Louisiana rice growers, cattlemen, other one are trying to get the Congress to completely drop the embargo so we have normal trade. If we can trade with Vietnam, if we can trade with communist China, my goodness, why can't we trade with Cuba?
What about changing the rules so that tourists can go?
Well, by executive action, it is pretty liberal now.
Really?
You can now travel individually as long as you fall in these categories, which I think is technically sort of laughable. It's pretty open, but it can't be completely open, I think, until Congress changes the statutes and the embargo.
There are Louisianians who remember trading with Cuba and going there.
Well, I won't name a name, but there was a lady here whose company shipped cattle out of the Port of New Orleans to Cuba. And so we've had our rice, our cattle, we've had great agricultural history with Cuba, and I hope we can resume it. I think to have total normal relations like we have with the former Soviet bloc countries, Vietnam, communist China, I think that will take a congressional act, which I am very optimistic will take place whether whoever is elected president.
Right. Okay. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'm Bab Zimmerman at your service.